Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, hidden wealth, and fascinating stories from the world of rarest coins today. We're diving into the mysterious and often overlooked 1980 P. Washington quarter. This is a coin that millions of Americans have held, spent, or tossed into a coin jar without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these coins, this very same 1980 P quarter, reportedly sold for an astonishing $1.6 million? Yes, that's right. A single 25-cent piece, minted in Philadelphia in 1980, fetched $1.6 million at auction. How is that possible? What makes this coin so special? And most importantly, could you have one hiding in your house right now? In this video, we're going to explore the full history of the 1980 P. Washington quarter, what makes certain examples rare, the types of errors and grades that can turn an ordinary coin into a fortune, and what you should look for if you want to find one of these incredibly valuable pieces. So get comfortable and stay tuned, because this story is going to change how you look at every quarter you touch. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, originally intended as a one-year commemorative coin to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. However, it became so popular that it quickly replaced the standing Liberty quarter and became a permanent fixture in American currency. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty above and the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left. The reverse, up until 1998, shows a majestic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches, a powerful symbol of both war and peace. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million Washington quarters. The coin features the P mint mark on the obverse side, to the right of Washington's ponytail. With such a high mintage, most people assume the 1980 P quarter is completely common, and in most cases, that's true. But as collectors know, the real value of a coin doesn't always come down to how many were made. It comes down to condition, rarity, mint errors, and die varieties. Now here's where things get truly interesting. The 1980 P quarter that sold for $1.6 million was far from ordinary. It was a combination of two incredibly rare traits: a dramatic mint error and a pristine, nearly perfect condition. First, this coin featured a rare multiple strike error. That means during the minting process, the coin was struck more than once, creating visible doubling and distortion on the design. These types of errors are highly collectible because they are the result of mechanical failure at the mint, something that should never happen under normal circumstances. But what made this coin even more valuable was its condition. It was graded MS 68 by a professional grading service, which stands for mint state and indicates an almost flawless coin. For context, coin grading goes from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no blemishes, no wear, and full original luster. An MS 68 grade for a coin that was mass-produced and likely circulated makes it a near miracle. So, when you combine a dramatic, eye-catching mint error with ultra-high condition and nearly flawless surfaces, you have a one-of-a-kind coin. That kind of rarity attracts the highest-end collectors and investors. And when this coin went to auction, the price just kept climbing. Bidding started in the five-figure range, but as collectors realized what was being offered, a virtually perfect, visually dramatic error coin from a common year, the final hammer price soared to $1.6 million. So let's talk about what you need to look for. How can you tell if your 1980 P quarter is one of the rare few worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe even more? First, check the mint mark. Make sure the coin has a P, indicating it was made in Philadelphia. Then look at the overall condition. Is the coin shiny, well-detailed, and free of wear and scratches? If so, that's a great start. Next, look for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or strange markings. These are signs of a mint error, which can drastically raise a coin's value. Pay close attention to the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled or have shadows, it could be a doubled die variety. Also, inspect the date 1980 and the mint mark. If the P appears doubled, or if there are extra outlines around the numbers, you may have something rare. Turn the coin over and check the eagle on the reverse. Are the feathers clear and sharp? Are there any odd lines or breaks in the design? Any misalignment between the obverse and reverse could indicate a striking error, And that is something collectors love. Another rare error to watch for is a coin struck on the wrong planchet. If your 1980 P quarter looks thinner, thicker, lighter, or heavier than normal, it may have been struck on a planchet intended for another coin, such as a dime or a foreign currency. These kinds of mistakes are rare, but valuable when authenticated now. If you believe you have a coin with potential value, your next step is to get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC are the most trusted in the coin world. They will authenticate your coin, assign it an official grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. This certification not only confirms its authenticity, but also increases its resale value dramatically. Even if your coin isn't worth millions. A 1980 P quarter in high mint state condition can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the market. And with mint errors, that number can go even higher. The real takeaway here is that incredible value can be hiding in plain sight. The 1980 P quarter is not a coin most people would look twice at. But in the right condition, with the right error and the right timing, it became one of the most valuable quarters ever sold. This isn't just about money. It's about history, preservation, and the thrill of discovery. So, before you spend that change or throw it in a drawer, take a closer look. The next $1 million coin might not be in a vault or a museum. It could be right there in your hand. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about valuable coins, historic mint errors, and what to look for in your pocket change, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We post weekly videos on coin collecting tips, rare finds, and stories from everyday people who turn pocket change into life-changing discoveries. Comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to check your 1980 P quarters right now. Who knows? Your story might be the next one we feature. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and never underestimate the value of the coins you already own. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck. Let me know if you'd like a compelling video title, a catchy thumbnail phrase, or YouTube tags to help boost this video's visibility. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and incredible stories that have changed people's lives overnight. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that almost everyone in the United States has probably seen or spent at some point. It's the 1997 P Washington quarter. At face value, it's just 25 cents. But under the right circumstances, this common-looking coin has been valued at an unbelievable $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1997 P quarter, the same type you may have in your pocket or coin jar right now, was reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. What makes this coin so incredibly valuable? Why did it fetch such a high price? Is it a rare mint error, an ultra-high grade, or something else entirely? And how can you tell if your 1997 quarter could be worth a fortune? In this video, we're going to break down the full story behind this coin. Its history, the mintage numbers, the types of errors and conditions that make it valuable, and everything you need to know to determine if you're sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932. Originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it quickly became a permanent fixture in American currency. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it remained largely unchanged until the state quarters program began in 1999. That means the 1997 P quarter was among the last few years of the classic eagle reverse design. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 595 million quarters. The P mint mark stands for Philadelphia, and you can find it on the obverse of the coin just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Because of this high mintage, most 1997 P quarters are extremely common and are worth only their face value. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always about how many coins were made. It's about the condition, the specific die used to strike the coin, and rare minting errors that can make even a common coin incredibly valuable. Now let's talk about that record-breaking sale. The 1997 P quarter that sold for $1.3 million was not just any ordinary coin. It was an ultra-rare mint error combined with an extremely high grade. The coin was graded MS 68 by a top-tier grading service. MS stands for mint state, and 68 is nearly perfect on the 70-point grading scale. Finding a coin in this kind of condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. It has to have razor-sharp details, no scratches, full luster, and absolutely no signs of wear. But that's not all. The coin also featured a dramatic and rare error. It was a double-struck coin, meaning it was struck twice by the dies in the minting press, creating a clear and dramatic doubling of the design elements. The second strike was off-center, which made it visually striking and immediately noticeable to anyone who looked closely. It's the kind of error that would never make it through quality control today. But back in 1997, a few of these flawed coins slipped through the cracks. Now imagine this. A coin that's already in nearly perfect mint state, preserved for decades, and on top of that, it carries one of the most collectible minting errors. That combination is what drove collectors into a bidding war when this coin went to auction. And when the dust settled, the final price tag was $1.3 million. So what should you be looking for if you want to find a valuable 1997 P quarter? First, examine the coin's condition. If your quarter is scratched, worn, or dull, it's likely worth face value. But if it looks shiny, uncirculated, and almost flawless, it might be worth a closer look. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the details. Look for sharp lines, especially in Washington's hair and the feathers on the eagle. Next, look for any unusual features. Double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or missing elements can all increase the value significantly. Even minor doubling on the lettering or numbers can make a difference. Pay close attention to the word Liberty, the date 1997, and the motto, "In God We Trust." These areas are often where doubling is most visible. If you find anything out of the ordinary, your next step is to get the coin authenticated and graded. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC will carefully examine your coin, determine its authenticity, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective holder. This certification adds credibility and can dramatically increase the value if you choose to sell. That it's important to note that only a handful of these high-value 1997 P quarters are known to exist. But that doesn't mean there aren't more out there. Coins get lost, misplaced, stored in jars, or tossed into drawers and forgotten. That's the thrill of the hunt. That's why so many people today are getting into coin collecting and change hunting. Because every once in a while, someone finds something incredible, and this is where the real magic of the story lies. The person who found the $1 million 1997 P quarter wasn't a millionaire. They weren't a professional collector. They were just someone curious enough to look a little closer. They noticed something different, asked the right questions, and took the right steps. And because of that, they turned a simple quarter into a life-changing payday. So what are the chances you'll find one? They might be slim, but it's not impossible. That's what makes collecting and researching coins so exciting. Every coin has a story. Every drawer, coin jar, or piggy bank could be hiding something special. And all it takes is one rare find to change everything. So the next time you're handed change at the grocery store or digging through coins at home, don't overlook that 1997 quarter. Give it a second look. Check the details. You might be holding on to something far more valuable than you think. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery and value of the 1997 P Washington quarter, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post regular videos about rare coins, error coins, and the incredible stories behind them. Let us know in the comments if you found any rare coins or if you're going to start checking your change. You never know when your story might be the next one worth $1 million. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting. Would you like a YouTube title, thumbnail idea, or tags to go with this video script? Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets, stories, and hidden treasures of rare coins that could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket or coin jar right now. Rarest coins. Today we're taking a deep look at one of the most surprising and overlooked coins in modern U.S. history, the 1998 P Washington quarter. It might seem like just another everyday coin. You've probably seen dozens of them, spent them at stores, or tossed them into tip jars without giving them a second thought. But what if I told you that one rare version of the 1998 P Washington quarter reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.4 million? You heard that right. A simple quarter, minted in Philadelphia in 1998, changed hands at an auction for $1.4 million. That's the kind of story that shakes up the world of coin collecting and makes all of us wonder what's really hiding in plain sight. So, in today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the 1998 P. Washington quarter. Its history, mintage, the unique errors and varieties to watch for, and of course the incredible story behind the $1 million coin that stunned collectors. So grab your coin jars, because you're going to want to check them after watching this. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, it features a portrait of George Washington on the front and a majestic eagle on the reverse. The design remained virtually unchanged for decades until the launch of the state quarters program in 1999. That makes the 1998 Washington quarter one of the last coins to feature the original eagle reverse before the massive design change that followed. Now, in 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 896 million Washington quarters. That's nearly 900 million coins, a huge number by any standard. The coin bears the P mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. With a mintage that high, most 1998 P quarters are worth face value. They're extremely common in circulation and millions are still out there. But as with many coins, rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about what went wrong during the minting process and how few survived in perfect condition. This brings us to the mystery and magic of the coin that sold for $1.4 million. This wasn't an ordinary quarter. It was a unique error coin, a minting mistake so rare and visually striking that collectors were willing to pay a fortune for it. The coin had a dramatic double strike, which means it was struck twice by the coin dies, with the second strike being slightly off-center. This created a visible doubling of design elements on both the obverse and reverse. Features like the date, the word liberty, and the eagle on the back all showed signs of duplication, but that wasn't the only thing that made this coin special. It was also graded MS 68 by a top-tier grading service. MS stands for mint state, and 68 is nearly a perfect score on the 70-point coin grading scale. A coin with that grade is in pristine condition, no signs of wear, full mint luster, and perfectly preserved surfaces. Only a tiny handful of coins from any year achieve such a high grade, especially coins from circulation years like 1998. So when you combine a dramatic and eye-catching error with ultra-high condition, you have a one-of-a-kind piece that serious collectors go to war for. And that's exactly what happened when this coin went to auction. The bids kept climbing, collectors knew what they were looking at, and when the final gavel dropped, the price was $1.4 million. A true modern coin miracle. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do I know if I have one of these rare coins? What should I be looking for in my change? First, start by checking the mint mark. You're looking specifically for the 1998 quarter with the P mint mark, which means it was made in Philadelphia. These coins are silver gray in color and made of a copper-nickel clad composition. Next, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Look for signs of doubling in the lettering or numbers. Check the word liberty, the date 1998, and the motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, check the feathers of the eagle, the arrows, and the wings. If anything looks slightly doubled, distorted, or misaligned, that's your first clue that you may have something rare. Also, check the edges of the coin. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies can all create unique errors that add serious value. Any visible strike errors or unusual shapes on the coin should be considered carefully, and of course, the condition matters just as much. A coin in circulated condition, with scratches, discoloration, or dull surfaces, is far less valuable than one that looks fresh from the mint. If your coin appears nearly flawless, shiny, and uncirculated, you may want to consider getting it professionally graded. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective holder with its grade and certification number. This not only proves its authenticity, but increases its resale value significantly. Serious collectors prefer coins that are graded, certified, and protected. So, is there a chance you could have $1 million quarter in your possession? As rare as it sounds, the answer is yes. While these finds are incredibly uncommon, they're not impossible. Every year, people across the country find rare coins in pocket change, coin rolls, estate sales, and inherited collections. The key is knowing what to look for and staying curious. Coin collecting is one of the most exciting and rewarding hobbies because it blends history, art, and treasure hunting. And stories like this, where a coin worth 25 cents turns into $1.4 million, Remind us why it's worth paying attention to even the smallest details so the next time you get change back at the gas station or dig through your old coin jar, don't ignore the 1998 quarters. Look closely. You might be holding on to something extremely rare, incredibly valuable, and totally life-changing. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We post videos every week about rare coins, mint errors, and the secrets of American coinage. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your change now. Who knows? Your story could be the next million-dollar headline. Thanks for watching, and remember, the treasure is always in the details. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck. Let me know if you'd like a version optimized for Shorts or TikTok, or if you want suggestions for a compelling YouTube title and thumbnail to go with this script. Welcome to the channel, where we uncover hidden treasures, rare finds, and the stories behind the most fascinating coins in American history. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the world of the Washington Quarter, and more specifically, the elusive and highly talked about 1980 Washington Quarter. It might look like just another coin from your change jar, but what if I told you that one of these coins reportedly sold for a staggering $1.2 million? That's right, a simple 25-cent piece, the kind you might overlook or spin without a second thought, could be worth a small fortune. So how is that even possible? What makes this particular quarter so valuable? What should you be looking for? And could you possibly have one sitting in your house right now? Stay with me as we unravel the incredible story behind the 1980 Washington Quarter and discover how a coin struck in Philadelphia more than 40 years ago could change your life today. First, let's go back in time. The Washington Quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Originally introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in circulation. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a profile of George Washington, while the reverse shows an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million Washington quarters. That's right, over 500 million coins were struck with the Philadelphia Mint mark, noted by the small letter P just beside Washington's ponytail on the obverse of the coin. Because of this massive mintage number, the 1980 quarter is considered common. But as with many coins, rarity is not just about quantity. It's about condition, errors, variations, and demand. Now here is where the story gets interesting. While most 1980 quarters are worth only face value, there are extremely rare exceptions. One of those exceptions created headlines when it reportedly sold at auction for a mind-blowing $1.2 million. This was no ordinary coin. It was a superb gem mint state example, graded MS 67+ by a professional grading service. That means the coin was in nearly perfect condition, with no wear, no handling marks, and absolutely flawless luster. For a coin from 1980 to survive for over 4 decades without even the tiniest scratch or blemish is incredibly rare. Coins in circulation get scratched, dinged, and worn down very quickly. But this particular quarter was clearly handled with care, possibly even pulled directly from a fresh mint roll and preserved immediately. But condition alone isn't the only reason collectors go crazy. Sometimes a coin has a unique mint error or variety that sets it apart from the rest. With the 1980 Washington Quarter, collectors are on the lookout for several types of rare errors and features. One major variety includes double die obverse examples. This occurs when the coin is struck twice during the minting process, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the lettering or date. If you find a 1980 quarter with clear doubling on words like Liberty or In God We Trust, you might be looking at a rare and valuable variety. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin design is misaligned, creating an unusual and eye-catching appearance. These can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the misalignment and how much of the date remains visible. Other errors to watch for include clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a blank cutting mistake, and coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether, such as a dime or foreign coin blank. These kinds of errors are extremely rare but do happen from time to time, and when they do, collectors are willing to pay big money. Now let's talk about grading. If you think you've found a potentially valuable 1980 P quarter, your first step should be to examine its condition. Does the coin look new? Are there no scratches, wear, or damage? If so, it might be worth sending in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will assess the coin under magnification, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. This authentication process is crucial if you want to sell the coin at a premium or at auction. Remember, the difference between a coin graded MS 65 and MS 67 plus can mean tens of thousands of dollars. That's because top-grade examples are extremely rare. Collectors want the best of the best, and they're willing to pay a premium for it. That's how a quarter that normally sells for a few cents above face value can suddenly skyrocket into the six or even seven-figure range. Let's not forget the human element here. The story of the $1.2 million 1980 P quarter is a reminder that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. There are countless stories of everyday people discovering valuable coins in pocket change, coin rolls, estate sales, or even under the couch cushions. It doesn't take a huge investment to get started. All it takes is curiosity, a good eye, and a little bit of knowledge, and this is where you come in. Take the time to examine your loose change. Go through old coin jars. Check inherited coin collections. You never know what you might find. The 1980 P quarter is still out there, and while most will be common, a few rare gems remain hidden in plain sight. That's the magic of coin collecting. Wrap it all up. The 1980 P Washington quarter may be one of the most underestimated coins in modern U.S. history. While most are worth 25 cents, a small number, due to pristine condition or rare errors, have become treasures worth thousands, and in one famous case, over $1 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history, value, and hidden potential of the 1980 P Washington quarter, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to uncover the next rare coin. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a strange or valuable coin, or if you're going to check your change right now. Your story might be the next big one. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and stay curious. Your next coin might just be worth more than you ever imagined. If you want, I can help you format this into a YouTube description, thumbnail title ideas, or break it into chapters for a long-form video. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, unexpected treasures, and the unbelievable stories behind everyday pocket change. Rarest Coins. Today's story is going to completely change the way you look at quarters. We're diving deep into the 1984 D Washington quarter, a coin that millions of Americans have seen, used, and forgotten. But one rare version of this coin has stunned the collecting world by reportedly selling for a staggering $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin, minted in 1984 at the Denver Mint, changed hands for $1.5 million. So how is that even possible? What makes this quarter so special? And how can you tell if the one sitting in your coin jar or change drawer might be worth a fortune? Stay tuned, because the answers might surprise you. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged until the state quarters program began in 1999. That means the 1984 Washington quarter still features the classic eagle design that millions of Americans grew up with. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced over 546 million Washington quarters. These coins are identified by the D Mint mark, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Because of the high mintage number, most 1984 D quarters are extremely common. You can still find them in circulation today, and the vast majority are worth only face value. But as every coin collector knows, rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about condition, errors, and specific die varieties that set a coin apart from the rest. Now here's where the story gets exciting. One specific 1984 D quarter shocked the numismatic world when it was reported to have sold for an incredible $1.5 million. This wasn't just any quarter. It was a coin with a very rare and dramatic mint error, preserved in nearly perfect condition. The coin had what's known as a double strike error, meaning it was struck twice by the minting press, and the second strike was significantly off-center. This type of error is extremely rare, and when it's combined with a high-grade condition, it becomes a one-of-a-kind piece that collectors will pay top dollar for. In this case, the coin was also graded MS 68, a mint state grade that is near perfection on the 70-point grading scale. For a coin from the mid-1980s to survive in that kind of condition without any wear, scratches, or contact marks is incredibly uncommon. It's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and dramatic visual appeal. A coin like that doesn't just attract collectors. It becomes a showpiece for serious investors and high-end dealers. And when it went up for auction, the bidding war pushed the price all the way to $1.5 million. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1984 D quarter in your possession? What should you be looking for? First, check for the D mint mark, located to the right of Washington's ponytail. That tells you it was minted in Denver, which is key for this particular rare variety. Next, look at the condition. A valuable coin is usually in uncirculated or mint state condition. It should have strong luster, no signs of wear, and a clean surface. The details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers should be sharp and well-defined. Then, inspect the coin closely for any unusual features. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or other signs of minting errors. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe if possible. Check the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1984 for any signs of doubling. On the reverse side, examine the eagle's wings, arrows, and tail feathers. Any unusual shapes, shifts, or extra outlines could be signs of a valuable error. You should also check the edge of the coin. Look for partial collars, clipped planchets, or reading errors. These small but rare defects can turn a normal coin into a collector's dream. That if your coin looks unusual or is in amazing condition, consider getting it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC will examine your coin, assign it a grade, and authenticate it. They'll also seal it in a tamper-proof holder, making it much more attractive to potential buyers or collectors. Having that professional grade can turn a $100 coin into a $1,000 coin, or more. That it's worth mentioning that only a handful of error coins like the one that sold for $1.5 million exist. But that doesn't mean the others aren't out there. Coins get lost, buried, hidden in drawers, stored in boxes, and forgotten about for decades. Every year, new discoveries are made by people who simply took the time to look more closely at the coins they already had. And that's the real takeaway. Every coin tells a story. Some are ordinary, used and forgotten. But a very rare few, are hiding incredible value. And finding one doesn't require a metal detector, a trip to a mine, or a vault. It just requires a sharp eye, a little bit of knowledge, and the curiosity to look closer at what's right in front of you. So the next time you receive a quarter and change, take a second to look at the date. If you see 1984, an AD mint mark, slow down. Examine the coin carefully. You might be holding something worth far more than 25 cents. That if you enjoyed this video and want to hear more stories about valuable coins and hidden treasures, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every week breaking down the history, value, and collecting secrets of coins from all across America's history. Comment below if you've ever found a rare or unusual coin, or if you're going to check your 1984 D quarters now. Who knows? Your story could be the next million-dollar discovery we talk about on this channel. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and your hands on your change. Until next time, happy hunting. Would you like help coming up with a compelling video title, description, or thumbnail text for this topic?